We'll wait another 5 minutes or so. Hopefully more people show up. And we're supposed to have a visitor today from Career Services. See if she shows up. I even have a link to your website right there.
Yeah, I actually need to log into my Google Drive. Good morning, everyone. My name is Patricia Greenway. I'm a job developer in the Employment and Internship Office here at Cabrillo College. Your instructor invited me to come visit your classroom today to introduce you to Career Services so that you're aware of a lot of the events and workshops that we have going on campus, to let you know how to access the job board so that you can find on-campus jobs and jobs out in the community. So I'll also share with you how to get in touch with us if you would like to schedule an appointment for one-on-one support with your resume, for preparing for job fairs, preparing for interviews, help with optimizing your LinkedIn profile or setting up your LinkedIn profile, job search support. We can help you with all that. So there are two departments within the Career Services Division. There's Academic and Career Counseling and the Employment and Internship Office. So if you're someone who wants help choosing a major or establishing a career path that's best suited for you, they can help with that. They can also give you guidance on career exploration, classrooms, instructors that would be a good fit for you based on what your career goals are. And they also can help walk you through how to do a career assessment that could help you identify college majors and career pathways that would be best suited for you based on your interest. For those of you who are not in the classroom, I'm going to be sharing this presentation with your instructor so he can email it to you or post it on Canvas so that if you are interested in connecting with academic counseling or someone in the employment and internship office, you'll have contact info to do that. There are QR codes there, so if anyone is interested, you can scan the QR code. It will take you directly to each department's website or give you event details for the events I'm going to share with you in a little bit.
You're being
as well.
recorded too. This recording.
Oh, okay, perfect. I'm being recorded.
Guess I should have warned you about that.
Oh, no problem. So in the Employment and Internship Office, we're down in the 100 building in room 103. We're right next to academic counseling, but we do a lot to help support you by producing a Career Corner newsletter that we send to you every month that has a lot of events and workshops and gives you information about jobs that are happening right now, gives you job readiness tips, things of that sort. We also manage the Seahawk Job Board. The Seahawk Job Board has full-time jobs, part-time jobs, internships, and on-campus jobs. For those of you who are not familiar, there are on-campus employment opportunities that we can help connect you with. The only place you're going to find those opportunities is on the Seahawk Job Board. I typically tell students, if you look at the job board and you're not seeing an on-campus opportunity, talk with your instructors, talk with your professors, see if they may have a need for a lab assistant or a student assistant during the semester. Start applying for those jobs before the semester begins or at the beginning of the semester, because once you get later into the semester, those jobs are already filled. So do that early on. We also provide one-on-one support with job and internship search, resume cover letter development, interview preparation, LinkedIn setup, job fair preparation, things of that sort. And then we have our job fair coming up tomorrow. So we're going to have more than 50 companies coming to our job fair. That's going to be here at the Aptos campus in the upper quad, hiring for a broad range of different employment and internship positions. We're going to have a lot of things going on. We're going to be doing LinkedIn photos. So if you're someone who would like a nice professional image for your LinkedIn profile, we'll have a photographer there taking professional photos for you. We're also going to have resume review. So if you would like someone to give you expert advice on your resume and give you some suggestions for improvement, we'll be there doing that as well. I would say even if you're not interested in an internship or a job right now, it's a great opportunity for you to come network with local companies that are offering entry-level jobs, internships, and things of that sort, so that you can become familiar with who's offering what and what the hiring process is, and also get feedback from those direct hiring managers about your resume, what may be missing, what may need improvement. It also helps you feel more comfortable just going into conversations for job interviews when you do start applying for jobs and internships. If you've already met some of those hiring managers, it's a familiar face that you have a little more confidence and comfort talking to when you go to a job interview. We also have other networking events that we do throughout the semester. In November, we typically do our Health Career Expo that's held in the cafeteria. And we typically have about 20 to 30 different employers within the healthcare industry there that are promoting internships and jobs as well. On-campus employment, I've already told you about that. And then internship and work experience classes. I'm going to give you details about that in just a bit, but there's also career preparation classes and certificates that you can do. For those of you who don't know, you can actually get credit. You can get college credit for work experience. It could be a job that you have right now, or maybe an internship that you're going to be doing after this semester or sometime later during your time at Cabrillo. But again, QR code is there. If you want to scan and get more information or schedule an appointment with us, you can go directly to our website.
Do they have to sign up for the job fair tomorrow?
We recommend that you sign up for the handshake, for the job fair through Handshake, just so we can send you updates about things that are going on during the job fair and before the job fair. We also have tips that we can share with you about just job fair readiness so that you can be prepared when you come to the job fair and you'll know what to expect. So we do recommend, if you plan to attend the job fair tomorrow, visit the Handshake job board and you'll have the info on there, and you can.
I have a link for it too.
I'm sorry.
I have a link to the sign up.
Oh, okay, great, perfect. Yeah, I would recommend that you register. I'll actually be sending an email later today just about job fair tips and things of that sort, just to help prepare you for the job fair. So anyone who's interested in career skills classes, these are free. You can actually do these from home on Zoom. You don't actually need to come to campus. This is a great way to help build your resume and get some more certificates and more just credibility on your resume if you're someone who's wanting to build out your resume and make it more impressive. So there's there's 4 different classes here, and there's 2 certificates offered. Employability skill certificate, that helps you develop a really polished and professional resume. And then within that employability skill certificate, there's also the professional career search, and that's going to give you some job search techniques and processes that you may not be aware of to help you identify internships and employment opportunities that would be best suited for you. And then the second certificate is the workplace success skills certificate. That's going to help you identify transferable skills that you can not only use in your resume and your cover letters, but you can also talk about during the interview and then actually use when you're in the workplace once you get the job or the internship. And then also under the workplace success skills is the creating career satisfaction. That helps you develop career goals and just understand what expectations are of you working in an internship or a job. But again, these will help build your resume and just help give you some job search skills, develop your professional skills, and give you some goals with your career development. We do a lot of workshops online. They're really great because you can log in from home. You don't actually have to be here on campus, but you can log in and get like resume support. You can get help with LinkedIn. We also have events that we do throughout the semester. We partner with County of Santa Cruz every semester, and we host online informational sessions. And for those of you who are not aware, County of Santa Cruz is one of the top employers in Santa Cruz County, and they hire for a wide variety of different positions, from internships all the way up to like senior level positions. And it could be accounting, it could be like the planning department, it could be waste management. They have a huge list of positions that they're always recruiting for, including, law enforcement, things of that sort. But if you're interested in any kind of job with County of Santa Cruz, you can log into these info sessions and you can learn about the hiring process. You can learn about what it takes to be successful during the interview process. You can meet hiring managers directly and ask them questions. You can find out about what positions and departments are open that may be recruiting for positions that would be a good fit for you. In March, we hosted the Skilled Trades Job Fair with City of Santa Cruz, and we had a really good turnout for that, but that was for more construction, building trades type jobs. But, again, think outside the box. If you're studying business, construction is a business. They need people to do accounting. They need people to do payroll, bookkeeping. They need people to, help manage the office operations, not just being out in the field, actually doing the building. But that's a good job fair to come to if you are looking to maybe get into the construction or building trades in a business capacity. Again, I mentioned we're having our big job fair here at Cabrillo College tomorrow, Aptos campus, Upper Quad. It's going to be from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. More than 50 companies. And then in May, there's a really exciting event that we partner with Santa Cruz Works on, and it's called Santa Cruz Launchpad. And it's an opportunity for college students to submit a business proposal. Maybe it's to launch a business or to improve a product or improve a industry. But you can do a business pitch and you can actually win up to $25,000. So it's really exciting. We have students from Cabrillo College and UCSC, CSUMB that participate, and it's always a really exciting event. And then after the business pitch competition, we actually have a large job fair. We usually have about 25 or 30 employers there recruiting for a variety of different roles, but that's a really exciting event too. Again, QR codes there. If you want more information on any of these events, you can sign up or get more info. More info about how to get a job with the County of Santa Cruz. They do these throughout the year. They do one pretty much every month. They do them at the government center, pretty much City Hall downtown. They also do them at all of the local library branches, and then we do one annually online with them. So if you are interested in getting more information on that, you can reach out to us and we'll get you info on that. Skilled trades, I already talked about that. That was for jobs, classes, and apprenticeships. I hosted a teen job fair with City of Santa Cruz last week. Was that last week? 2 weeks ago, down at the London Nelson Community Center downtown, and that was for ages 13 to 19. Job and internship fair coming up tomorrow. Here's a little more about the Santa Cruz Launchpad. I put the QR code there for anyone who's interested specifically in this event, but it's a great event. There's usually about 25, 30 companies there if you're interested in coming down and talking to local employers about jobs or internships they may have. But if you're someone who's maybe interested in starting your own business, you can win up to $25,000. It's open to job seekers and students, but you can submit your pitch idea and go in and promote your business idea to them and possibly win money to start your business. So now that I've kind of shared a lot of information with you about career services, just curious to know what you plan to do this semester or next semester. Sign up for the Handshake Job Board, request a one-on-one support meeting with us, attend one of our online workshops, attend the job fair or one of our other networking events, look into on-campus employment for next semester. We do have some current positions that are starting to open up right now for next semester. So I would say if you are planning to be here next semester and you are interested in on-campus employment, start looking at the Handshake Job Board now because those jobs are going to fill quickly. Register for the work experience classes or register for the career skills classes. I really encourage all of you to read the Career Corner newsletter when you get it in your email every month because there's a lot of great information in there about events and just job readiness, resume, job fair tips, all that good stuff. So QR code is there if you would like to submit a form to get support with academic counseling or employment and internship. Scan the QR code, fill out the form, and then we'll point you in the right direction and get you set up with the right person to help support you with what you need help with. You can also stop by our office. We're in building 100, room 103, where student equity used to be, right next to the academic counseling. And if you want to visit academic counseling, they're in the 100 building. You can also check out our website or you can call or email us. I think that's it for me. Thank you for letting me introduce you to career services. I hope you are able to make it to the job fair tomorrow. It's going to be a really great opportunity for you to connect with local companies that may be able to support you with developing your career and helping you achieve your career goals. Thanks, everyone.
Patricia, anybody have any questions? Guess not.
All right, I'm gonna sign out and get out of your hair.
Thank you so much. You can do everything.
Thank you.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks
Take
again.
care. Oops, sorry.
Okay.
You're gonna post it on tablets, the slideshow? You're gonna post it on tablets?
Yeah, well, the recording.
Okay.
Recording will be there, and then I have links right here they have their own canvas that you can go on. It has some little lessons you can take and stuff like that. And then if you want to get support from them, like you said, I have a link right here you can sign up on that form. And then again, here's the info on the job fair tomorrow. And I think you can just show up, but she did mention, they do have a sign up for that. And if you do sign up, she'll send you more information about how to go to the fair and how to, make the best of that opportunity. Okay, so that's our segue into what we're talking about today. Yeah, so what we're doing this week, we just had Patricia from the Career Center here. Gave us a nice little presentation about what they do and talked about the job fair that's tomorrow. And if you missed that, it'll be in the recording. And also, the next slide has links to their stuff on the web. So what we're doing is we're going to talk about job search, basically, and all the stuff that's involved in that. And then we're going to use this Myers-Briggs personality type test thing to try and figure out what your personality type is in terms of what kind of jobs would be good. And then in terms of grammar, we're going to talk about constructing paragraphs. So as the usual, read all the module pages, read the reading. We just met with Patricia, take the Myers-Briggs test, review a paragraph. There's a small module quiz and a discussion as usual. Okay. So like I just mentioned, that was Patricia. Here's some links to their website on the Cabrillo website. And like I said, they have their own little canvas thing there, and then form just to get your name in so that you can receive their emails and whatnot. And then here's the info on the job. Okay. Let's talk about job search, resumes, and cover messages. So this week we're talking about the job search and things involved with that. Just so you have more of a context for writing your resume and cover letters, which will be next week. Okay. So things are quite different now than they were back in the day, not even that long ago, pre-COVID. As always, the soft skills that we talked about in 156, we don't really talk about that this semester. We did a whole module on the soft skills last semester. Those are always in demand, but don't be fooled by all these kinds of hey, everyone's looking for good communication and not so much about the hard skills. Oh yeah, they still want the hard skills. They want people that know how to do Word, know how to write, know how to do Excel, all that kind of stuff. It's just that that's assumed at this point. They're assuming anyone who applies for these jobs has those skills. It's the soft skills that aren't assumed, and that's what they're asking about. But make no mistake, they still want the hard skills. So yeah, they're looking for teamwork, problem solving, analytical skills, verbal communication, writing skills. That's why you're here, writing skills. But just want to reiterate that they're also looking for all those other hard skills too. It's just that these are harder to come by in people, so that's why they're at the top of the list. So, the old ways of finding jobs are still there, but now we have a lot of technology hurdles to get through. We'll talk about that. So pretty much any company of any size is used for their sort of unsolicited job requests. That's just you going to them and sending them stuff. That doesn't go to a person first. It goes to some kind of a robot that filters them out because they get so many unqualified applicants that they can't afford to just have a person doing that. So it first gets filtered by a robot, and then what gets through that filter goes on to a person. We call these applicant tracking systems, and they are pretty much driven by keywords that are in your resume or cover letter. Okay, so here's a plan. 4 steps. So we're doing the first step today, analyze yourself. That's why we're doing the Myers-Briggs. We're also going to talk about the hidden job market, which is huge. We'll see some stats later on that up to 80% of all jobs that are out there are filled through what we call the hidden job market. So they never make it to any of the job boards. It would be through your personal network. You know a person that knows a person, that kind of a thing. Obviously, you need to create a resume and a cover letter. We're going to do that next week. But the difference today from before is that, I mean, back when I was applying for jobs, you just had your one resume. You would customize cover letter per job that you're applying for. These days, because of those applicant tracking systems and the search for keywords, you have to customize your resume as well as your cover letter for every job that you're applying for to make sure you have whatever they're looking for as keywords in your resume. And lastly, you just need to know how the hiring process works. That's what we're talking about today. Again, this is to give you context for next week when you write your resume and cover letters. Right, so step one is the self-analysis. And we'll be doing the Myers-Briggs. But here's some questions you can ask yourself. You're going to be spending the majority of your life at work. So you want to spend that time with something that you like to do. Life's too short to hate your job. So you should think about what are the things that you're passionate about? Could you turn those into a career? So for example, do you like working with people or would you rather work with data and things? Now, this would be your preference, but as we already stated, people are looking for those soft skills, teamwork, communication. No matter what job you have, those are going to be important. But you can find jobs that focus on working with people, and you can find jobs that focus on working with data or things. Ask yourself how important are the salary, benefits, technology, job stimulation, those kinds of things versus more intrinsic things that just pique your passion. What about the area? Are you free to travel, relocate, or are you needing to be in a specific city? Are you looking for security? Do you want to do some traveling for the job? Are you looking for money, power, and prestige? I would say this. Okay, I'll give you a story. You probably know already that I used to teach electronics here way back a long time ago. Back then, there was a huge boom in the technology sector and hiring. And I would get basically two kinds of students coming in. I would get students that just had a genuine interest in electronics. They thought it was cool. It was one of their passions. And then I'd get the students that were like, hey, I just know that they're hiring and the pay is really good. Sounds like a good job. That second class of student almost never succeeded in the class. They just didn't have the interest. So are you looking for security, money, power, prestige? Well, fine. But if the job also isn't something you're passionate about, you're going to be miserable and you probably won't succeed. So I would think of those things as second tier. And then just ask yourself this final question. How would you describe the perfect job for you, your perfect boss, perfect coworkers? That'll help you get some idea. Yeah, so I mean, how do you know what interests you? How do you know what you'd be good at? I mean, maybe some of you have a feeling for this, but I think most of us don't really. So there's a few things that you can do to try to find that out. And one of them that we're going to do this week is this Myers-Briggs type indicator. And it's simple, you just answer a bunch of questions, and then it gives you a 4-letter code that kind of describes your temperament. And then you can use that code to look at certain jobs and see if that's a good fit. And employers do use this to some extent, both to see if you're a good candidate for a job and also to see if you would be a good fit in an existing team where they already know the Myers-Briggs indicators for the other members of the team. There's another one here called Big Five. I don't really know too much about that one. Sounds pretty much the same. Okay, now what about your qualifications for looking for when you're looking for a job? Well, obviously, that's why you're all here, right? You're here to get either a certificate or associate's degree. So you can present those as evidence of your technology skills. What specific software programs have you mastered? Well, here you can just show them your certificate. Look right here, it says, you know, I've mastered Excel and Word, and I took some writing classes, so on and so on. Know how to search the internet, know how to make a web page, all that stuff. Do you communicate well in speech and in writing? Again, that's why you're specifically here. Do you speak another language? How can you illustrate and verify these abilities? Well, as far as your writing, you can verify them by saying, look, I have a CABT certificate and it had these 2 semesters, 156, 157 in business and technical writing. What other skills have you acquired? I mean, kind of think outside the box here. Patricia talked about doing internships here at Cabrillo. That would be a great thing to have on your resume. And volunteer activities, even things, you know, in the category of leisure activities that might apply. And think about how you can demonstrate those skills. So getting back to the soft skills, do you work well with people? Well, can you prove that? Do you enjoy teamwork? Again, how can you prove that? Consider those things they mentioned there, you know, were you in any school clubs, class projects, things like that, other kinds of jobs which could prove that, you know, you do well in a team environment. And then even more than that, are you a leader, self-starter, or manager? Did you have a job as a manager working somewhere? Definitely that should be on your resume. Do you learn quickly? Can you think critically? How can you demonstrate those? If you have a certificate from CABT, that's one way. So here's some stats. Back in the day, even before my day, you know, there was you got your job and you stayed at that job for your whole life pretty much. You got the gold watch and retired. Well, that's not true. That hasn't been true for a long time. But it seems to be accelerating. And at this point, if you're between the ages of 28 and 52, on average, you will have had 12.3 jobs. And nearly half of those, so like 6 of those jobs you're going to have before the age of 25. The older you are, the more jobs you can expect to have had. So, I mean, I don't know why I was surprised by this statistic. I've been a consultant for 20 years and I've had way more jobs than that. So, it just seems like the way it is right now, especially with the gig economy. We're going to talk about that too. Right now, people working in new ways, flexible, remote, part-time, gig economy. Patricia talked about, you know, applying for that $25,000 prize for starting your own business, doing your own thing, startups. And then let's talk about reskilling. So one of the certificates I hold is a certified software development professional from IEEE, and they require you, I had to do a bunch of tests and everything to get that certificate. And of course, I had to have my degrees and all that stuff. But on top of all that, they require you every year to submit these extra units that you take by taking classes to keep your skills up to date. We're in a fast changing world, and everything that you're learning right now, you know, we try to teach you the foundational things, but all the specific things, those change every year. So you need to keep your skills fresh. Continuous education, more classes here at Cabrillo, retraining, things online. Okay. Suggestions to find the best career data. Visit your campus career center. We just did that. Search for career apps, check government data in your library, take a summer job. So this is one thing I always tell people are like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what I want to do for a job. Well, how could you? You don't have any experience doing anything. Just do something. Go out there, get a job doing something. If you don't like it, stop. Find something else. That's kind of the only way you're going to find out what you like, what you don't like. You can talk to people that you know in your network and ask them, hey, what do you do? How do you like your job? Tell me about it. Doing nonprofit work is another way to kind of suss out different kinds of jobs. And then, just monitoring the classified ads or career data in general to see what jobs are out there. Maybe it's something I don't even know or have ever heard about. Okay, so we split the job market into two forks, basically, the open and the hidden. So I think you know about the open one. You go to like dice.com or any of those kinds of sites, and you see all these jobs on there. Santa Cruz, employment.com, all these jobs out there. And those are the ones that go through the AI tracker things that try to weed you out and everything, and they get hundreds and hundreds of applicants. That's the harder nut to crack. The hidden job market are those jobs that never get advertised or listed. And that's via a couple of different ways we'll talk about. But here's the thing, between 50 and 80% of all jobs are in that hidden job market. That's the one you should be targeting. The open job market, you're just another person there amongst thousands. Yeah, you do the best you can to make your resume stand out, show that proof through your certificates or your degrees. But still, you're one of thousands of people. For the hidden job market, not so much. So let's talk about that in a little bit more detail. So for the open ones, job boards, this is more or less just a starting point though. Recruiters, LinkedIn, Facebook jobs, Twitter, but be careful. Some of those are bogus. We'll talk about that in a second too. So here's the most common ones. Monster is a big one. We can talk about Dice. Dice is more technology, I think. Oh, here it is. Dice, yeah, for technology. If you're looking for a medical field job, Advanced Healthcare Network is one. These are all pretty much well-known and trusted job sites. But getting back to the hidden job market, so one of the ways that jobs can be quote unquote hidden is that they don't post them on those job boards that we just mentioned, but they do post them on their own company websites. So if you know of a company that you're like, hey, that sounds like an interesting company, I think I might like to work there, go to their website, take a look. They almost always will have a link to job offerings, and then you can post your resume to their site. And now instead of being one of 10,000 people, you're one of 100 people or less, right? So you've already increased your chances a lot. So yeah, if you go to the company's website, you'll find their vision and mission statements, which are good to read so you get some background on who are these guys and what are they looking for and their history. And then they'll usually have the people who are the hiring managers. So yeah, some places still, do the old school thing of putting their openings in newspapers and in print, but Craigslist, I think, for local jobs probably has taken that over. And then career fairs. So tomorrow. Yeah, there's a bunch of mobile apps. Yeah, whatever. It's the same thing. Okay, but yeah, you need to be a little bit careful with the open job market. So make sure that you only use the reputable sites that we've kind of talked about, because there's a lot of scammers out there. You don't want to really divulge your personal data. You want to have separate email accounts, maybe even social accounts for your work persona versus your personal persona. You don't want your drunken party Cancun photos there that potential companies will be looking at. And these days we don't include references initially. We don't even need to say, references on demand. That's just assumed. So you don't want to give out your references until asked for them. Okay. Yeah, so let's dig into this one, hidden job market. Like I said, this is the one you want to really focus on. So first thing is your personal network. And you might think, well, I don't really have a personal network. Sure you do. You know people, those people know people, your parents, your uncle, whoever, siblings. So talk to them and try to find out, get contacts from them of hiring managers. So building up your network in general means just developing sort of a support system, people to people contacts. The more people you meet, you know, what's the thing about the 7 degrees of separation? Everybody's only separated from everybody by 7 different people. The more people that you have in your network, the more people you have in your network. It just sort of expands from there. So yeah, develop that contact list, make contacts in person online. I mean, you can go and call people and say, hey, you know, my uncle so-and-so said that you're the hiring manager here. I'm really interested in your company. I was just wondering if you had any job openings in the areas of XYZ. Just imagine how much of a leg up you'd have doing that than just another applicant on some open job board. So jobs on social media, which is pretty much LinkedIn, definitely want to have a LinkedIn profile. I don't think it's as great as everybody says it is. I've had one since it was invented. And I think I had one job offer ever come through there in the last 20 years. But it's kind of assumed that you have one now. And it's also a good place to, you know, leverage your network that you just did in the last slide. What else was I going to say about this? Oh, it's also a great place to investigate different companies. Like if you have a person in your network on your LinkedIn, it'll say where they're working, and you can click on that. And LinkedIn doesn't just have information about people, it has information about places. And it can tell you all about different companies and who works there. I mean, you might find, oh, hey, I know somebody who works there. Awesome. Or, oh, look, it tells you, LinkedIn tells you how many degrees of separation away you are from someone who's working somewhere. So like a level 1 is they're in my network. A level 2 is, well, I have somebody in my network who's in their network. And like that. So using that tool, you can kind of build up your networking by traversing through, okay, this person works at this company I'm interested in. Says he's at level 2. Oh, I see. He's friends with my other friend that I have in my network. Go to that friend and say, hey, could you introduce me to this person? I would like to apply for a job at his company. I don't know. There's much to talk about here other than back to the keep your business and personal personas separate. Choose your friends wisely. So there's basically 2 strategies for having your friends on LinkedIn and, you know, other social sites. One is a curated list, like, okay, these are my actual friends or these are my actual work acquaintances. And the other one is I just accept it from anybody. Try to do the first one more than the second one. Okay. So building your personal brand, you might think, brand? Do I have a brand? Well, yeah, do. Everybody kind of does. So think about like, if you were a product, how would you sell yourself? And answer these kinds of questions. What's your unique selling point? What's your special skills or traits that makes you stand out? What would your instructors or employers say is your greatest strength? You can ask us, we'll tell you. What are you promoting about yourself? So give that some thought. Maybe you make yourself an elevator pitch. So you probably heard what elevator pitch is, right? The idea is you happen to get on an elevator with some hiring person at some company, and you're in the elevator, it's moving, and you have that time and only that time to tell them about yourself. So this is 60 seconds, but maybe even less, right? So what we used to do, I used to go to IEEE meetings once a month in Santa Clara. And what we would do there is at the beginning of the meeting, we would pass the microphone around to everybody that was at the meeting, and everybody had to give their elevator pitch for 2 reasons. One is it got you to do an elevator pitch and practice that over and over and over again. And the second one is everybody there heard your elevator pitch, so you knew who everybody was and what their expertise was and why they were there. That's another way to really build up your network. All right, that's the reading. So let's see, it's 10:27. Let's just talk about this for a second. Actually, you guys are going to do this one on your own. I think, yeah. So let's just talk about this one, then we'll take our 10-minute break. So this assignment is the career assessment assignment. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the website that Patricia was just talking about. And they have a career coach there. And it will ask you 60 different questions that you will answer. And then it will answer back to you with a list of traits that it has extracted from those questions. So what I'm asking you to do is after you answer those 60 questions, copy the top 3 traits and paste them into the text box. And then click on each of those 3 matches. And for each of the matches, they will show you the education level, earnings potential for those. So I want you to, for each of the 3 of your top matches, dig into them, pull out the information and put that in the text box as well. So I'll just go to this site so you can see what we're talking about. So we want to do the 60 question one. And it's just telling you, like, you know, don't worry about if you don't currently have the education or training, and don't worry about how much money. Just answer the questions, right? So for each of these questions, they have these things just like you had in your assignment for your interview, right? Your survey. So you just answer these until you get to the 60, and then it's going to show you the matches. Okay. Let's go ahead and take our break right now. And when we come back, we'll talk about the Myers-Briggs type indicator test. Okay, we're back.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I mean, does it matter if we want to do some of these career things, but we just don't know how to do them yet? For the
Yeah,
question?
absolutely. I mean, that's kind of what I was saying. One way to find out what you're interested in is just get a summer job, get an internship on something, just to get the idea. Like, is this even something I like to do? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Like the 60 questions is asking some of these skills, and it would be nice to try, but like you're saying, maybe it would be better to just give it a try and find out, right?
Exactly. There's a better way than, I mean, you can take these tests all day long, whatever, and they're helpful, but nothing's better than actually trying a certain kind of job to see if you like it or not.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I think at the very beginning, before you take that test, they just say, don't worry about, you know, if you actually have the experience or not. Just answer the question as if, you know, what's your desire. Okay, so we're going to talk about this Myers-Briggs test. It's been around for years and years and years. Very popular. A lot of companies do use them for both, like I said, if you're going to be a good fit for the job and how you mix with a team. But you need to kind of not take it too seriously, because the 2 people, Myers and Briggs, they didn't really have a background in psychology and all that kind of stuff. And some people say the test is bogus. But hey, can be helpful. So here's a little video about it. Let's watch this video.
Are you an ENTJ, an INFP? Even if you've never used any Myers-Briggs tools to discover your personality type, you've probably at least seen these acronyms before. This is the most popular personality test in the country. Over 2 million adults use online tools such as this to determine their personality type. A shocking 89 of the Fortune 100 companies actually use this test for hiring and development purposes. And in this video, I'm going to tell you the history of the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, also known as the MBTI quiz, and how it has become one of the most famous ways to look at different personalities. So Catherine Briggs and Isabel Briggs Myers were not world-renowned psychologists. They were just a mother and a daughter who became interested in studying personalities. The duo taught themselves about the science of personality testing through their fascination with theories created by Carl Jung. Jung believed that humans experience the world using 4 different functions. These functions were the dichotomies that we associate with the test today: extroversion versus introversion, sensing versus intuition, thinking or feeling, and judging or perceiving. At the time that Briggs and her daughters were researching Jung's theories, America was involved in World War II. Women were looking for work at unprecedented rates, and many of them for the first time. Briggs and Briggs Myers believed that if women could understand Jung's theories and assess their personalities, they would be able to look for jobs that would best suit their interests and personalities. So they took all of the dichotomies and created a test that would show them which side a person stood on. Their assessment determined whether a person was more introverted or extroverted, more likely to think or more likely to feel. Well, the combination of these 4 sides created a personality type. For example, an ENTJ is more extroverted, uses their intuition, is more likely to think than feel, and usually judges before perceiving. There are actually 16 of these personality types, and each one is likely to have certain talents or a skill in the workplace or in specific relationships. Their first version of the assessment, the Briggs-Myers Type Indicator Handbook, was published in 1944. For the next 50 years, the assessment would be tweaked and 3 different MBTI manuals would be published. It actually contains over 80 questions in the European version and over 90 in the American version. Certified professionals, they say, are the only people allowed to administer and deliver the results of an MBTI. Now, people can access many similar versions of the MBTI online, but unless a licensed professional is involved, they will only receive a close guess of the results. So, what do the results mean? You just took a test and you're an ENTJ, but what does that mean? In order to look at the results from the MBTI, we'll have to go back and look at how Carl Jung believed that humans interacted with the world and how Briggs interpreted his work. Jung used a lot of observation and introspection to develop theories for how people take on new experiences and how they process information. Now, actually, he didn't use too many scientific studies, and this is a fact that is often brought up by critics of this personality quiz, but his work made him one of the most influential minds of the time and certainly gives insight into how we actually do interact with each other in our world. Jung's theories and Briggs' work answer crucial questions about how we seek out and how we take in experiences. They answer these questions with 4 dichotomies, those dichotomies being the result that make up our personality types. So let's go ahead and explore these questions and what they say about your personality. Question number 1 is, where do you get your energy? And the answers are either extroverts or introverts. The first question pairs with the dichotomy extroverts versus introverts, and these are a hot topic in the discussion of personality psychology. Almost every personality quiz seems to have at least this, but there are many misconceptions about these 2 labels. Extroverts don't always want to get wild at a party all the time. They just get their energy from stimuli with the outside world. Introverts aren't necessarily shy and secluded. They just get their energy from self-reflection and staying within their own world. You can still be a social person and be an introvert, and on the other hand, you can also be a shy extrovert. Question number 2 is, how do you take in information? Do you sense it or do you use intuition? Whenever you walk into a room, how do you assess what's going on? Do you prefer to get hard facts and direct answers? If so, you're probably ranking high for sensing. Now, if you prefer to rely on your intuition, your gut, you may get a feeling for what's happening. You may look at patterns, body language, and just feel the energy in the room. That means your second letter would be an N, standing for intuition. So, the third question is, how do you actually make decisions? Do you think or do you feel? Once you have to act, how do you actually decide what you want to do? Now, you might be the type of person to create a pros and cons list and rely on logical thought to make a decision. If you are, you're probably scored high for thinking. However, maybe you frequently go with your gut feeling and you rely on the emotions that you're feeling to make your decision. Then you might have ranked a bit higher for feeling. And number 4, how do you organize your world? Do you use judgment or do you use perception? When you're planning a trip, do you plan or do you leave things open to change? If you tend to be a planner, you might find yourself planning most of the areas of your life. You can use your judgment to predict what you will do next and how the next few years of your life are going to look for you. If you tend to be more flexible, you might be more relying on your perception of the world. When you perceive things to be a signal for change, then you go ahead and you make that change. Now, this dichotomy is an addition to Jung's original theories. Remember, Briggs did not use Jung's theories word for word. She simply based her personality assessment off of his work. She used it as a guide. These questions can certainly give you insight into how people work and interact with other people, and this is why it's used by so many business leaders and hiring professionals. Further research actually shows how different personality types interact with each other and how many of each type you should hire for a productive workplace. You don't want all of your employees to be extroverts, and you also don't want all of them to be introverts. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to watch some of the other videos in this personality series.
Okay, any questions about that stuff? All right, so what we're gonna do is actually take this.
I have a
test.
question.
Oh, go ahead.
So what if you're kind of like in between on most of them? Like I do both on a lot of them. How would you answer it? Is what I,
Both, like they was saying, no one's completely introvert, no one's completely extrovert.
yeah,
Sometimes, you'll use logic and data to make a decision, but you'll always have some degree of intuition involved in there. So
yeah,
to answer the
yeah.
questions, the questions aren't as simple as what they just laid out in the video. They
Mhm.
try to kind of finesse it by asking you a bunch of different questions,
Mhm.
get more of a sense of how much are you one way or the other.
Okay,
And honestly,
gotcha.
that's one of the criticisms of the test is that it puts you in a box, right? And it's like no one's in a box. Everybody's a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah,
different, right?
yeah. Sure. Okay, thank you.
So yeah, don't take it too seriously. But it can be, somewhat
It's
helpful.
hard not to. You're like, well, is that gonna mess up my whole thing?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, well, test taking in general is kind of a stressful thing. So yeah, like the guy mentioned in the video, only, authorized people who have gone through the training are supposed to give the test for real results. But that costs money. So we're going to use one of those online ones that is free. And it's just, I can go there. It just starts asking you a zillion questions. So complete the test here. There we go. There's a zillion questions. You just answer them, and you don't answer them like yes or no. You answer them on a sliding scale here from I totally agree to I totally disagree. So that's the idea. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and take that test, and then at the end, it gives you one of those 4-letter codes. And I just want that code. So after you take the test, put your code in the box, and then just add a comment, kind of getting to Lisa's point. How accurate do you think this type is? Okay, it shows me my type. Do I feel like that's right? I'm just interested in how you feel it fits. Okay, so it's just a text box thing. You just put that stuff in the text box. Okay, the next assignment is once you've found that type code, there's a book in the library called Do What You Are. And you can find it here in the library. Do What You Are. You have to do the sign in thing, and then you can just look at it online. I'm not asking you to read this whole book. What I am telling you is at the end, it has a chapter for each of the codes, right? Where does it begin? Chapter 7 is where it begins. So here's a ENFJ, extroverted, intuitive, feeling, judging. So what I'm going to ask you to do is use the code that you got from the Myers-Briggs test, find this document at the library, just like I did, and then just find your code, right? Let's say you're come out to be a ENTI, yeah, extroverted, intuitive, thinking, judging, J, sorry. And it's going to give you kind of a little blurb about that, what that means, right? Just a couple of pages. What kind of jobs, that would be a good fit for, that kind of stuff. So what I'm asking you to do is find the chapter that's about your code in that book between chapters 7 and 22. Read that one.
The code? is going to be the one chapter, and that's the only one we're gonna have to read?
That's correct. You don't have to read the whole book. Just zoom right to the chapter that's about your code. And just read that one chapter.
Okay, thank you.
And then at the end of each one of them, they have this secret to success. And what I want you to do is just grab that secret to success and put it in the text box. Pretty straightforward. Okay, so that's all about the job search, personality tests, all that kind of stuff. And we're only really doing that stuff. I mean, this is a writing class. Why are we talking about that stuff? Because next week we're going to be writing our resumes and cover letters. And you need to know the context of how the job search works in order to be able to do a good job creating your resume. Okay, so now we're moving on to the grammar topic for the week. And our grammar topic for this week is paragraphs. So we've been talking about all these things over the weeks, right? We started with the parts of speech, and then we kind of combined the parts of speech together to make phrases and clauses. And then we combined those together to make different sentence types. Well, now we're kind of getting to the last bit, combining all those different sentence types into a paragraph. So we know that paragraphs contains those sentences, and a paragraph is separated from other paragraphs by one blank line in business writing. Like I just said, for business writing, we use one blank line to separate, and we do not indent the first sentence. We use the justify left. But that's just the sort of the frosting on the cake of a paragraph. That's not what it means to be a good paragraph. That's just the outward facing part. What do we need to have a good paragraph? Well, every paragraph needs what we call a topic sentence. Topic sentence communicates that paragraph's focus idea. Now, generally, a topic sentence can appear anywhere in a paragraph, but for business writing, we always start with that. So your paragraph should start with a topic sentence. Topic sentence essentially is going to tell the readers about what's following in this paragraph. And all the sentences in this one paragraph after that topic sentence have to be related to that topic sentence. They have to give more information about it, prove it by offering facts, describe it in more detail. You can't have something that's not related to the topic sentence in that paragraph. That'll be something in another paragraph. So here's an example. Let's say the topic sentence in a paragraph concerns the types of endangered species that live in the ocean. Every sentence after that topic sentence needs to expand on that. Topic sentence often bridges the gap between the previous paragraph and the current one. And a topic sentence has two parts, a topic and a main point. For example, in this exact paragraph we're looking at right now, it started off with each paragraph needs a topic sentence. So the topic is topic sentences. And the main point is that each paragraph needs one. So when you construct your topic sentence, keep that in mind. You need those two bits. Okay, now you have your topic sentence. What follows after that are the supporting sentences. Like we mentioned, they have to give more information about the topic sentence. Every sentence should support the topic sentence. Should provide further details, more ideas about that topic sentence. If any of your sentences in your paragraph don't relate back to that topic sentence, either delete it or, more likely, save it for another paragraph. In fact, that might be a good signal to you to say, this paragraph should probably end here and I should probably start a new paragraph because now I'm going off the topic that was in the topic sentence. Okay, so that's the supporting sentences. And then at the end of your paragraph, you want a concluding sentence that signals the end of this paragraph, sort of by restating the topic sentence, summarizing its main points. You don't want to add any new info in the concluding sentence. Okay, well, what criteria do we use to know if the supporting sentence is a good supporting sentence? So there's these two things, coherence and cohesion, and they sound very similar, and they are similar to some degree, but there are differences. The first thing we're going to talk about is coherence. So the sentences in a paragraph have to support that main point of the topic sentence. And to do that, they all need to be coherent. So coherence in writing means that exhibits a systematic or logical consistency. And my example here is if the topic sentence, again, it says it's about the types of endangered species that live in the ocean. If you had a sentence about how elephants are endangered, that's not coherent. That's sort of going off topic, right? So I always think about coherent as like coherent light. Coherent light's a laser. So it's like laser focus. Okay? If it's not part of that topic sentence, it doesn't belong. Either take it out or put it in a different paragraph. The second criteria we talk about is cohesion. So I think you all know what the word cohesion means. It means sticking together, right? So a paragraph, in a paragraph, each sentence needs to link to the sentences before it and after it. You can't have these jarring jumps away. Everything has to sort of flow and one needs to connect to the other ones. So we have techniques that we've already learned for establishing cohesion. A lot of these we actually learned last semester. So transitional words and phrases, using that whole parallel language thing that we learned last time. Using dovetailing that we learned last time. We'll talk about this in a little bit more detail in a sec. And then putting older information first and newer information last. So like you talked about something in the last paragraph, the new paragraph, you can kind of transition from that old information into new information. And then the paragraph after that will do the same thing. And that's how you can get this cohesion. So as far as traditional words and phrases, here's a few you can look at. Furthermore over those kinds of things. You can also do the contrast exception thing. However, on the other hand, nevertheless, cause and effect, similarity, likewise, in the same way. Examples or illustrations, for example, for instance, conclusions, and then you can also use a time sequence. So like step 1, step 2, step 3, firstly, secondarily. So since I didn't cover parallelism in this semester, I'll just give you a few little clues here on how to create parallelism. So this is sort of the matchy-matchy thing, right? If you have like a list that you're writing out, try to make all the things in the list have the same sort of ending, like these gerund ing nouns. So remember that a gerund is we're talking about a verb as if it were a thing. So like I am fishing, that's an action verb, but I like fishing. Now fishing is a noun, call that the gerund noun. So try to match those up in your lists. Try to use the same kind of verb endings. Match phrases. Remember we did phrases and clauses. Try to make them match with each other. If you're using active voice, stay active voice. If you're using passive voice, stay passive voice. And I think I kind of already said this, match verbs and listed items. So why is it called dovetailing? Well, maybe if you ever have done any woodworking, you know what a dovetail joint is. That's those joints where there's like little teeth that mesh with each other. So the basic pattern for getting dovetailing is placing a piece of information from the end of one sentence, the old information, to the beginning of the second sentence, where the new information is introduced. So yeah, it acts like that interlocking dovetail joint in woodworking. So here's an example. The company decided to reduce its workforce to save costs. So you would dovetail that by saying these cost-saving measures, that's the old info, led to a decrease in productivity. That's the new info. Here's a little video on how to write a paragraph. I think the person has some good thoughts. So
Yeah, you.
Okay.
Hi everyone and welcome to my class. In this video, you will learn how to write a paragraph. Well, if you know how to write a sentence, then you will definitely write a paragraph because it's a group of sentences that are related to one main idea and are connected to each other. So, are you ready? Let's get started. A paragraph should have at least 5 sentences, 1 topic sentence, 3 supporting sentences, and 1 concluding sentence. The first step is to brainstorm your ideas in order to write a good paragraph. Write the general topic or the main idea. This is what your paragraph will be about. For example, friends, why people lie, celebrities, playing outside. Now use the main idea to create the topic sentence. The topic sentence typically identifies the main idea. It tells the reader what you will be discussing in the paragraph. Good friends are very important in our lives. People lie for several reasons. Being a celebrity can be difficult. Playing outside has many benefits. Now you have to write the supporting sentences. These are the sentences that give more information about the topic sentence. Every sentence should support the topic sentence. It should provide further details or ideas. And if any sentence cannot be related to the topic sentence, just exclude it. Playing outside has many benefits. Well, it gives you sun exposure. Active games get you moving and benefit your physical health. Playing or running around can help relieve build-up stress and frustration. A concluding sentence signals the end of a paragraph by restating the topic sentence and summarizing the main points. And remember, do not add any new details in the concluding sentence. And you can always end your paragraph with a personal connection like your opinion or feelings. This is my concluding sentence. Playing outdoors makes you happier. Or, anyone can benefit from outdoor activity. Well, now it is the second step. You have to write the first draft. Leave an indent. Indents are moving the first line of a paragraph to the right and creating a space. A paragraph typically starts with a topic sentence, and the rest of the paragraph provides details to support and develop the topic sentence. So you're going to write the supporting sentences. Link each sentence with transition words. Transition words form a bridge between the sentences. So I'm going to use here first, second, and lastly. You can use examples or facts to support your topic sentence. So you can use anything that is relevant. For example, playing outside gives you sun exposure, which is proven to cure seasonal depression. Playing active games, such as basketball. And now you can start your concluding sentence with words like finally, in conclusion, to summarize, in summary, as a result. The third step is to edit your paragraph. Look for any grammar mistakes, spelling mistakes. Make sure you capitalized all proper nouns and that you started your sentence with capital letters and ended them with the right punctuation marks. And the last step is to write your paragraph. And guess what? We did it! Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in my next videos.
Okay, so she mentioned indenting. We don't do that. Okay, that was for academic writing. Also, I mentioned these are things to keep in mind while you're doing your draft, but you know, drafting is more about being in a flow state, just getting words down on paper. So don't be too concerned about, am I dovetailing these together? Are my sentences really supporting it? I mean, keep those in mind as you're writing, but you'll come back in your editing phase to really fix that stuff up. Which brings us to the actual assignment. Okay. So the goal of this assignment is to identify techniques that will make a well-structured paragraph. And what you're going to do is we're going to copy and paste this paragraph below into the text box. And we can do this in class. And then we're going to edit this paragraph for all the things we mentioned: the topic sentence, coherence, and cohesion. All right. So let me go into student view. Can do this all together. Where's my, okay, here's my paragraph. Copy that. Paste it. Okay, so let's just kind of read through this first as it is. All manner of marine species are affected, including cetaceans, whales, dolphins, and porpoises. The seabirds, turtles that live in the sea, sharks and other fish, marine invertebrates, including entire coral reef ecosystems. Oceans are warming. Our oceans appear vast and teeming with life until recently viewed as containing infinite resources. Manatees also have threats. Many marine species are decreasing at an alarming rate. They are considered endangered. Elephants are also endangered species. The consequence of loss of species in the marine environment are significant both ecologically for the economy. Just like terrestrial animals, creatures of the sea face myriad threats to their survival, both anthropogenic and natural. Many are in trouble. Do we know what anthropogenic means? It means man-made. So that's a buzzword that we could probably simplify with man-made. Okay, so that is the paragraph as it stands right now. What a mess. So, what do we think? Is there a sentence that's already in here that could be a topic sentence? Anybody have any thoughts?
Should we start with taking off elephants are also in danger?
Yes, that's an example of that does not support the topic, even though we don't have the topic sentence yet. That's clearly not coherent, right? Elephants, that has nothing to do with marine life. So getting rid of that. So of all the sentences in here, does anyone look like it could be a candidate for the topic sentence that would have the main topic and the subject? So we're talking about marine species, right?
Would many marine species are decreasing at an alarming rate be a good sentence to start?
Marine invertebrates.
Yeah,
Which one?
where is that? This one, right?
On the second line, I think it is.
Yeah, sure, let's go with that. So we'll start with that. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to put it at the beginning.
Decrease.
I'm going to put a space between just so we know what we've done and what we haven't done yet. Okay, so if that's our topic sentence, talking about marine species, so yeah, elephants, not part of that. And they're decreasing at an alarming rate. So now we're looking for supporting sentences. What do you think? Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make all these sentences separate so we can kind of look at them one by one. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking maybe this is fine. I mean, there doesn't have to be a particular order, although we like to kind of, as far as the whole paragraph is concerned, this is supposed to, link old information from the prior paragraph, which we don't have, into this one. But in terms of inside the paragraph, except for the concluding sentence, the order doesn't really matter. So I'm going to put this one next, but the sentence isn't great as far as parallelism is concerned. All manner of marine species are affected, including cetaceans, whales, dolphin, and porpoises, the seabirds, turtles that live in the sea. So that's not very parallel, right? We could either say seabirds that live in the sea, although that's kind of redundant, and turtles that live in the sea. Well, since we're saying seabirds, how about we say sea turtles? All right. And then obviously we don't have to say that live in the sea.
So we're just adding that up. It's not part of the paragraph to cut and paste? No.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
We're just joining in the seabird, sea turtles, just adding, right?
Yeah, we're just taking a sentence that was already there and trying to improve its parallelism,
It is there. Okay, I'll look for it.
right? So let's see if this works so far. Many marine species are decreasing at an alarming rate. All manner of marine species are affected, including blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I mean, that supports the topic sentence, right? What do we think? So I guess the first thing I would ask you, are any of these sentences here, are they obviously not coherent, like the elephant one was? Meh, I'd say they all have something, at least they're not like, they're all marine animals and it's talking about marine stuff, but like this one, manatees also have threats. We can include that information, but standing on its own as its own sentence, we need to dovetail that,
You can make it bigger.
make it bigger, yeah, I can make it bigger. Make it bigger, bigger still,
Oh,
how's that? Okay, so I just cut that one, I'm gonna just paste it here for a second. So I'm talking about all these marine species that are affected, including, and then there's my list, right? Well, why don't I just add manatees to the list? I don't need to have that be a separate sentence, right? So you can just add manatees. Since it's not the start of a sentence. So I don't know enough about ocean life to know if a manatee is a cetacean. I don't think it is. I think it's its own thing, right? So we can get rid of that. So now we combine that in there, right? So it's all cohesive. What should we do next? Well, how about this one? What do we do with this oceans are warming? Doesn't seem like it's enough to stand on its own. Can we dovetail that in with something else?
Additionally,
Yeah, we can say that. Use a transition word. Oceans are warm. Comma after a transition word. So I think we can get rid of that. So there's a zillion ways you can do this. Just like terrestrial animals, the creatures of the sea face myriad threats. That seems pretty basic. So let's put that up here at the beginning. And this looks sort of like a concluding sentence to me, right? So we can just put that at the end. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. Let's reread it and see if it makes better have cohesion and coherence. Many marine species are decreasing at an alarming rate. Okay, that's our topic set. So everything after this has to be about marine species and or decreasing at an alarming rate. Just like terrestrial animals, the creatures of the sea face myriad threats to their survival, both anthropogenic. So this isn't about good paragraph, but this is about reducing buzzwords. Man-made and natural. Many are in trouble. Does that support our topic sentence? Yeah, we're talking about marine species, although we said just like terrestrial animals, that's more of a transition, right? And they're decreasing. Yeah. All manner of marine species are affected, including cetaceans, manatees, the seabirds, sea turtles. Could even probably take the out of here, right? Seabirds, sea turtles, sharks, and other fish, and marine invertebrates, including entire coral reef ecosystems. Their oceans appear vast and teeming with life until recently viewed as containing infinite resources. Additionally, oceans are warming. The consequences of loss of species in the marine environment are significant, both ecologically and for the economy. Seems pretty good. Anybody have any other thoughts? Okay. So I'm going to submit that. Back down.
Okay, don't put it away. I'm not ready.
Okay. I mean, use your own judgment on this, make it your own. This was just kind of my take on it for a second. Let me know when you're ready.
Did we get rid of the matinees also have thread? Yes, okay, got it. Thank you. I'm ready.
Manatees, just, that was the only important part, manatees, right? And we already had a list of species being affected. So I took the separate sentence that had manatees in it and just put manatees in the list with the other thing.
I got it. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, sleep student. Okay, there's a little module quiz here. You can do it on your own. It's only like 4 questions. And then the discussion for this week is about the Myers-Briggs test. And after you've taken the test and looked up your code in the book and read the chapter about your code, I would like you to answer this. Do you feel that the Myers-Briggs test should be used by hiring managers, or do you feel that it's unscientific and unfairly labels people? So I just want your opinion on that. All right, so the wrap up, what did we do? We talked to the Cabrillo Career Center. We looked at emerging trends in the job search, looked at strategies for the job search. We looked at the Myers-Briggs personality type test, and we correctly constructed a paragraph. All right, so yeah, you took quiz number 2, or you should have it done by the end of the day. And that is in preparation for next week. We have exam number 2. Any questions on anything we covered today? Well, that's it for the day then.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, see you guys later. Sign up for that job fair.
Okay.